Nancy Wilson, what a treat.
I'm glad to be here.
Yep,
I'm a Seattle girl, so anything for Seattle, I'm
love
in.
it. Love
Yeah.
it. We claim you here in the city. Well, in a career that spans 4+ decades, dozens of albums, You and Me is your first solo studio record. So, congratulations on that. How do you feel?
I'm really happy with the way the record turned out, and it's being received really, really well. People really like the diversity that's on it. A few covers, a bunch of original new stuff as well. So yeah, I'm proud of it and I'm happy about it, and
Great.
I want to do another one now.
Yeah, there you go. You've lit
Yeah.
the fire for that. So there are 12 songs on the record, and it opens with the title track, You and Me, a beautiful song that you wrote with Sue Ennis about your mom. Tell us about that song.
Well, Sue and I have collaborated a long time, for songs in particular. And she reminded me that when I was starting out making this album, that she had shared a song with me about a year before that she'd written when her mom passed away called Follow Me. And I had just recently had a dream about being with my mom, who's no longer around. And so I wrote a bunch of lyrics called You and Me and Gravity. So I said, hey, Ding, let's make a hybrid of our two mom songs. And I really thought it was so kind of touching, the way it turned out.
We talk endlessly and we stay up too late, meeting up in some suspended state.
You're having a conversation in zero gravity with, a spirit of someone you love.
You always showed me the way home.
So when I listen to your guitar playing, for me, it's like you're weaving a beautiful web of sound that is gossamer and delicate, as well as strong and very resilient. And these qualities are on full display in For Edward, the closing track you wrote in honor of Eddie Van Halen. And there's a story behind that song.
Well, yes, and I love to tell it. I love to tell this
I
story
want to hear it.
because back in the roaring 80s when we used to open for those guys sometimes, big festival kind of situations like that. And we got to know those guys pretty well, and Eddie was really sweetheart. They were all really cool guys, but Eddie was really a fan of my playing, and he told me that. He said, I really like how you play that acoustic. And I said, wow, coming from you, I can't even take it. Wow. But I said, well, why don't you play more acoustic yourself? And he was like, well, I don't really have one, around here. So I said, that's impossible. You have to have one right now. So I went and got one backstage from the roadie guy and gave it to him. Here you officially have one on tour now. So flash forward to early, dark 30 the next morning. I was asleep and my phone rang in the room. It was him playing me on the acoustic guitar that I'd given to him, this beautiful piece of music. I was like, wow, that's one of the prettiest things I've heard, And then went back to sleep. And so later, after sound check or whatever the next day, the show day, I said, Eddie, you played this most beautiful thing. Thank you for doing that. And he said, I did? I think he was up partying all night, and then kind of might have forgot it, but I hope not. But anyway, I was just, I was trying to channel what it was that I felt that he had played to me and something in that sort of genre, in that school of thought that was pretty angelic and pretty, kind of rock as well.
That is a
Yeah.
wonderful story. I believe that he's feeling the love, feeling the love.
Yeah, I think up there in
Yeah,
the Angel Ballroom up there, with all those other rockers.
yeah, right,
Yeah, I think he's flattered somewhere up there,
for sure.
wherever he is.
So there were a number of, you said, a number of cover songs on the record. Pearl Jam's "Daughter," "The Boxer" by Simon and Garfunkel, Springsteen's "The Rising." When you approach such well-known popular songs, how do you make them your own?
Well, by every which way, I guess, because, with Daughter, I'd already recorded that before I started the album for a film which centers around a true story about human trafficking.
Don't call me daughter, my picture, the picture kept with mine.
I figured Daughter would be perfect for that film because there's the line in the song that says she holds the hand that holds her down, and I thought that was really appropriate to the story.
She holds the hand that holds her down. She will rise above.
So, and then I had it in my back pocket. It's like, well, I already have one song I could put on my album, and let me try Bruce Springsteen's "The Rising."
Sky of blackness, sky of sorrow, sky of love and sky of tears.
The next thing I wanted to record was that, because I'd seen Springsteen on Broadway and was completely moved and inspired by hearing those kinds of songs that he's so good at writing without all the production and all of the, just like the raw emotional meaning of those songs.
Sky of blessed light, come on up for the rising. Come on up, lay your hands in mine.
Having been written for 9/11 originally, I figured, well, this would be a good song for me to put out into the world because it was the beginning of the shutdown and the pandemic and all of the, horrible, horrific loss and fear and pain that people were going through.
Is there anything you learned about yourself as a musician that you didn't know before making You and Me?
Yeah, well, mainly, as a singer, I was never the main singer. Obviously, I got to sing here and there once in a while. So I was like, wow, I'm gonna sing everything on this. So I better figure out how to do that because I don't do it that often. Something I've done all my life was sing and play with friends in rooms and hootenannies and jamboree kind of stuff, but to kind of interpret my own stories that I wrote myself, or to know which persona to kind of put out there. I actually got some really good direction from Sue Ennis. She was like, don't try to put yourself into the heart level as a singer. You can just tell a story. Just tell your own story more. And then I remembered Anne had told me that once too. She said, don't try to be perfect. You're trying just too hard to be perfect with it. Just tell your story.
Burn the house down, let it flame out, throw the ashes cold and gray.
And so I kind of came to a new kind of realization about, as a musician, not to try to over-perfect yourself. On all levels, I think. It's more refreshing for people to hear the humanness, these days in particular, when it's not just all ironed out and auto-tuned and perfected digitally, So there's an honest humanity about it when it's imperfect.
Well, I want to thank you so much for talking with me, and congratulations on the new record. It's outstanding, and we're very excited to have you back here in Seattle. Okay,
Thanks
thanks,
for
Nancy.
having me. Okay. Cheers. Later. Take care.
Nancy Wilson performs with the Seattle Symphony on October 30th at Benaroya Hall. Ticket and live stream information is at live.seattlesymphony.org. And Nancy's debut solo record, You and Me, is available online and from your favorite indie record store. Catch Art Zone Friday nights at 8 and anytime online at seattle.gov/artzone.